Hello, and welcome to Midlife Clarity, where we talk about how to get exactly what you want out of your next chapter because the crisis is not mandatory. I'm your host, Monica Shell, and you're listening to the very first episode of Midlife Clarity. This podcast exists because I wanted a way to give encouragement and perspective to people dealing with the questions that come with reaching a certain age, air quotes there. Questions like, what's this all been about? Why don't I feel like I've truly accomplished anything? Is this what life will be like for the rest of it? And what's my purpose? Also, there are thoughts like, there has to be more to life than what I've done and where I am so far. And I don't feel fulfilled. And the one that I probably hear most often is, I don't even know who I am anymore. If any of these questions or thoughts sound familiar, there are a few things that I want you to know. The first one is that you're not alone. I have been coaching mainly women and some men through big life changes for over 5 years. And I've had hundreds of conversations with people that are navigating new chapters. The reason I was able to list those questions and thoughts that I mentioned a minute ago so easily is that I've heard them all from multiple people over the course of that time. Not only that, but I've had them myself. Every one of those questions and thoughts. I have been in that place where you're staring at the ceiling at 3 a.m. thinking all of these things and more. So you're not alone. The second thing I want you to know is that it's not your fault. There is so much hype around life purpose right now. It seems like every time I turn around, there is another book coming out or an influencer telling us that we're not doing it right. And then we doubt ourselves, and we might even start feeling like we've wasted our time and not done something great and purposeful. What I want to assure you is that every step you've taken has led you right here, where you are now, for a reason. You can't do anything to change where you've been, and there's no reason for you to. Whatever happened was supposed to happen. How do I know that? Because it did. All of your experiences have made you exactly who you are right now, today. And who you are is critical to you becoming who you're meant to be in the future. Let's make a little sidetrack right now, and I don't want to get too woo-woo on you, but you're going to be a different person 5 or 10 years from now than who you are today. That's a fact. And you have evidence that that's true if you think in detail about who you were 10 years ago. What you did for work, the music that you listened to, the books you read, the friends you had, how you spent your time, who you surrounded yourself with. It's likely that most or all of those things are different now than they were 10 years ago. So you can become, and you will likely become, different in the next 5 to 10 years. I'm not talking about your core values. I'm talking about the way you live your life. That's growth. Hopefully it's growth. And you can create that for yourself with intent. So it's not your fault that you're having these questions, but you can create with intent what you want things to look like. So I want you to kind of plant that seed for yourself. The third thing I want to tell you today is that how you feel will change. So don't make permanent decisions based on temporary feelings. You can absolutely create a next chapter that you're excited about and proud of without throwing away everything that you've worked your whole life to build. So the all or nothing thinking can go right out the window. And how you're able to do that is what we're going to be spending a lot of time on here inside of the Midlife Clarity podcast. The fourth thing that I want you to remember from today's episode is that getting to know yourself and believe in your own inner trusted advisor is going to be key to you setting yourself up to getting everything you want out of that next chapter. Influencers, authors, family, friends, all of them are going to have opinions that you value, that you might value. I don't know if you do or not. But none of them can advise you like you can. That's because no one knows you better than you. None of them know what you really value and what you truly want. And without that information, advice, just advice alone, without having that foundation of information is, at best it's useless, and at worst it can be harmful. It can take you further away from the things that you really want. Even if you're at the I don't know who I am anymore stage, what you need to know is still in there. You just need to access it, get familiar with it, and learn how to trust yourself again. What you want is what you want, and no one gets to dictate your path with what you should want, not even you. I want to make sure that you're not even creating those shoulds for yourself, much less everybody else doing it for you. So if your interest is sparked, listen to this again, make some notes, and give yourself some time and space to think about what you've heard. Journal on the things that I've said. If you want to come into the Midlife Clarity Telegram chat and maybe drop some questions or some thoughts that have come up for you as you turn these things over in your head, that would be great. Don't make any decisions yet about whether you think that what I'm telling you right here is true or not, or whether you can take action on it or not. Just think about it. Think about what these things mean to you right now. And if you want to come into the chat, maybe your ideas and questions will spark some excellent conversations in that chat. So I want to just recap the 4 things before we wrap it up. You're not alone. It's not your fault. And you can make this thing go how you want it to with the things that you can control. And we'll talk about the fact that we don't really control outcomes. All we control is what we do, what our actions and thoughts are. So we're going to learn inside of here about kind of divorcing ourselves from the outcome and just doing the next right thing. That'll be a topic of conversation. Number 3 is how you feel will change. So don't make any permanent decisions based on a temporary feeling or a temporary emotion. And then getting to know and believe in your own inner trusted advisor is going to be key to you setting yourself up for a next chapter that gives you everything that you want. Until next time, remember that we're after midlife clarity because the crisis isn't mandatory.